What is it called when you try to get fake electorates out there in Arizona? It's coming to me. Cheating. That's right.
It was Joe Biden who cheated.
It says America will fully and without any reduction pay the damages caused to Iran by 2 wars.
None of this at all was on the table, and now they will get all of it. We're going to start off with, again, we're getting our asses handed to us by Iran, and we can thank one guy, that's Donald Trump. He has exposed us. We are considered a paper tiger around the world now. The world knows that we don't have the capacity to do what we've threatened this entire time that we've had this superpower. We can't even beat Iran, and we're not going to beat Iran. It's never going to happen. The one thing that we would be able to do, if it ever came down to it, is we would drop a nuclear bomb, and that would do nothing but make things even worse. And I cannot stop and say, you know what? I don't think that's going to happen. I cannot say that. I actually think it's going to happen. And I cannot say Donald Trump is not that stupid, because I know that Donald Trump, in fact, is that dumb. He is by far and away the dumbest president we've ever had in our entire lives. And we will never, ever get somebody this dumb in office again. Now, his goal is to never let that happen anyway. He's going to do everything he possibly can, along with his accomplices, the Republican Party, to cheat in the 2026 elections like they always do. They always talk about Republicans are always talking about how Democrats are the ones who cheat. That's all they do. Literally every single election, Republicans are cheating, including Donald Trump in 2016. And guess what happened with that one? He was convicted of it 34 times. Now, I know I just said that, and there's a bunch of MAGAs in the audience, and their head exploded because they don't know that. They don't even know that Donald Trump even has 34 convicted felonies. They don't even know that. And they especially don't know that the reason why it was even elevated to a felony was because Donald Trump cheated in the 2016 election. They don't even know that. And they don't know especially, and this is the best one right here, they don't even know that Donald Trump cheated in the 2020 election. They were told by Bobo and these jackasses, the dumbest people we've ever seen, that it was Joe Biden who cheated in the 2020 election. Yeah, that's what they were told. Now, why did I say that this is the best one? Why? Because Donald Trump literally, in front of their complete and utter stupid faces, cheated right in front of their face. Over and over and over and over and over and over again in 2020. And these dingbats, they call themselves MAGA, they don't know that he did it. And he did it right in front of their face. That's the level of stupidity that they have reached. They don't even know. And he said that it was Joe Biden.
I won the 2020 election, okay? I won the election. Have you heard of it? I won the 2020 election. It wasn't fair. I won the election. Why did they do that to me? Somebody's got to do something about it. I won the 2020 election.
He's such a fucking pussy, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. You lost. But you see, he told everybody that it was Joe Biden after he done did it in front of the entire world. He done did it right in front of MAGA's face, bro. Ask your nearest MAGA about it right now. Pissed off veteran. Ask him about it. Ultrafly. See what they say. They're in the comments right now. That's not true. You're lying. You're a liar. Fake news. They don't know. They don't know what's going on in real life. That's the thing. I'm trying to explain this to you guys. I'm trying to make it easy so you can understand it better. You know what I mean? Like, they really do not know what's going on in real life, you know? Like when on election night, let's just go back in time for a second here. You say to MAGA, hey, MAGA, on election night, Joe Biden, he said that we should stop counting the votes. And they'll lose their mind, bro. Like, God damn it, I knew he cheated. No, except that wasn't Joe Biden. That was Donald Trump who said that on election night. Yeah, that's what he did. He was like,
You know what we need to do? We want all the votes to stop, okay? That's what we need. We need all of the voting to stop, okay?
he didn't like the votes being counted. What's that called? That's right. It's called cheating. For all the normal people watching and following along, that's what that's called. That's called cheating. When you tweet out, stop the count, what's that called? Anybody want to take a guess? Just a little hint for everybody. It's the same answer every time. This way we can get through it a little bit quicker, okay? Just so you guys know. But what's that called again? Cheating. That's right, yeah. What happens when you try to get fake electorates from Wisconsin? What's that called? Cheating. That's right. What is it called when you try to get fake electorates out there in Arizona? It's coming to me. Cheating. That's right. What about if you do the same thing for Michigan? What about that state when you try to get fake electorates to take the place of Joe Biden and put it in the name of Donald Trump? That's called cheating. That's right. Yeah. What is it called if you are really pissed off about the fact that you lost Georgia and you call up Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, and you say to him,
I need you to find me 11,780 votes, okay? Which is one more than we need.
hold on, it's coming to me. Cheating. That's what that's called. Isn't it? What is it called if you organize an entire group of people, a mass group of people, and you stand there and you say,
We need to fight, okay? Because if you don't, we're going to lose our country. So we're going to go down to the Capitol now. And I'm going to go with you. And we're going to fight.
and then you try to stop with violence, forcefully, the certification of Joe Biden. What's that called? Hold on, I forgot. Oh, no, I didn't. It's called cheating. It's called cheating. Yeah, that's what that's called. He did all those things and more. Those are just the highlights. Those are just the highlights, you know? He did all of that in front of MAGA's complete and utter stupid faces. And guess what they said?
It was Joe Biden who cheated.
That's how dumb they are. You know what I mean? And then, people think, like, sometimes they say, maybe you should be a little bit nicer about this. There's really no way to be. When you're that dumb, you deserve to be made fun of and pointed out and exposed every opportunity that I get, which is when? Every single time I'm on the air. I'm going to make sure that everyone knows about that. And more. There's a lot more, okay? And so we're getting our asses handed to us by Iran, right? And we've been exposed by Iran, and there's no getting out of this. No getting out alive, at least. And what I mean by alive, I'm talking about our country's reputation has completely died. It's gone, and we can thank one group for that, MAGA. We can thank one party for that, the Republicans, but we especially get to thank one complete and utter dingbat, Donald Trump. We've been exposed. We're not going to get out of this alive. We are done. And we are getting our asses handed to us every opportunity that we see Iran take. And they have more in store for us. And what is that they have in store for us? Well, let me show you. This is Keir Simmons. And this isn't good, ladies and gentlemen, what Keir Simmons is going to report here. MAGA, I know that you guys are the dumbest people on the planet. So, this is probably a good time for you to tune up because you're not going to like any of these things that are literally, like I always say, happening in real life right now, which you guys do everything you possibly can to avoid at all costs. Reality, facts, number one enemy, truth, number two enemy, and of course, accountability, number three enemy. This that Keir Simmons is about to tell us involves all three of those things, so this is going to be very difficult for you MAGAs. But listen to this. Great news for you MAGA. We're making America great.
Well, we finally have news from inside Iran, but brace yourself. It's not going to go down well in Washington or here in Doha or in Riyadh or in Abu Dhabi, across the Middle East. The Iranians have now issued a series of demands they are making of the United States before they are prepared to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. So those demands include that Iran should be paid substantial amounts of money, like the lifting of sanctions, that US forces, naval and air included, should be removed, should leave this region, and that the United States should agree not to target or even say anything bad about Iran, and not to target its proxies like Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis. Now, we've been waiting for days for news from Tehran about the negotiations over reopening the Strait of Hormuz. We were told by the Trump administration and also by the Iranians that it would come soon. Then there were reports from inside Iran of demands that included that vessels should have to pay to pass through the strait, and that US and Israeli ships would not be allowed to pass through. And now this. I want to read those Iranian demands to you because it's important to get the language right and the detail. This is from the Secretary of the Supreme National Council of Iran.
And, you know, I'm just going to stop it there because I'm not going to stop it there. I'm going to continue to play it, but I just want to make sure that everybody understands. We're getting our asses handed to us. Again, these will be met. None of this was happening before Donald Trump and the Republican Party, his accomplices. None of this at all was on the table. And now they will get all of it. You can mark my words. Watch.
It says, in order for the Strait of Hormuz to be reopened, America can never threaten Iran in any language or insult the sanctities of the nation. It says it will permanently, America, end the war and aggression against Iran and Iran's allies in Lebanon, Palestine, Yemen, and Iraq. That America will withdraw its naval blockade and its military forces, naval and air, from around Iran. It says America will fully and without any reduction pay the damages caused to Iran by two wars.
And so let me just stop it there for a second because you see how he said that they're going to fully pay? That's in dollars. You know how Donald Trump kept on lying and he kept on saying,
They took a whole plane, okay? They took the seats out and they took a whole plane and they got all the cash and they got it out of all these banks out of Virginia and Maryland, okay? And they filled the whole plane up with cash, tens of billions of dollars.
there was no tens of billions of dollars. There was no money given to them. There was money that we were holding, frozen, given back to them, and it totaled $1.7 billion. Not tens of billions, $1.7 billion that was already theirs. And now we, the United States, are going to have to give Iran hundreds of billions of dollars. And this guy's going to agree to it. He's already partly agreed to all of this. He's going to end up giving them, and they are going to get all of this, including that hundreds of billions of dollars to Iran out of mine and your pockets. And we don't have health care in this country. Isn't that just adorable? Do you guys think that that's cute also? Because I think that's cute. I think that's really nice and sweet. Thank you so much, Donald Trump and Republicans. We really do appreciate it here in America. Let's continue, though, with the more great news from MAGA. They love this kind of stuff.
It's not just the war this year, 2026, but the war in 2025, targeting Iran's nuclear capability, that America will lift the unjust and illegal sanctions against the Iranian people, and that it will unconditionally release the frozen and stolen assets of the Iranian people. At the same time, the president of Iran, President Pezeshkian, has said that it's important that Iran safeguards the achievements from diplomacy. So that would seem to suggest division inside Iran about the right stance to take towards the United States. But this is not what had been predicted. This is not the announcement of an agreement that had been predicted. I wonder what President Trump's going to make of this.
He's not going to make anything of it because he's the dumbest president we've ever had. He don't even know what to think about anything. He has no idea what's going on in real life.